Hey friends, hope you're doing well. Today we've got a special graphics card sent over to us by Wootware for us to check out, the Palette Super Jetstream RTX 2070. I have one thing to say about this before we get started. Damn boy, he's thick! So big thanks to Wootware for sending over this graphics card to us. If you guys are interested, they're South Africa's premier e-tailer of computer parts. So if you're in South Africa looking to pick up graphics cards, do so at the link in the video description for them. But now let's talk about today's video sponsor. GGWP and their gaming gear wooden platform. This desk, my friends, syncs RGB lighting with your computer. You can see it fits everything. It has fantastic cable management routing. It has an acrylic piece that goes through both of the tabletops right here and distributes all of the light right here on me and then also underneath, making a gorgeous underglow and back glow and side glow. It just glows your entire room up, my friend. You're gonna wanna check this thing out. They have two different models, the Esports Pro as well as the Alpha Desk, and you can pick them up at the link in the video description. Currently only available in South Africa, but they're looking to open up international shipping sometime soon. We love this desk. It is the just basically where we do all of our benchmarking and testing from here on forth. So big thanks to GGWP for sponsoring this video. We have the number one. You guys can maybe pick up something else, but we're a top dog with this. Anyways, link in the description. Okay, we back. We back with this thick boy. This thing is freaking thick. And I have to tell you, damn boy. Okay, I don't have much else to say about just how massive this triple slot card is, with only two slots that latch on and then this free dangling a little bit right there. This thing honestly has impressed me so much. This graphics card, as far as graphical performance, is one of the best that you could possibly get out on the market. But let's talk about the aesthetics. I don't like it. I love how thick it is. It makes me feel manlier, but at the same time, like the characters on the back, the bad Jetstream branding, this is not what I remember of the Jetstream cards from the 10 series. They had a much simpler backplate. They had a much cleaner design. They had a mirror finish on the front, which was absolutely gorgeous. And it feels like this is just the cheap version of that. Like, we talked to Palette at Computex about their graphics cards, and we asked them not to do this. This should just be black. It doesn't need to have your branding. You can put your branding right there, totally fine. But no, this just feels worse than what we got on the previous 1060 and 1080 Ti Jetstreams that we've had in this office. And then let's go ahead and talk about the RGB. It's kind of sad. It's only one color at a time. It's not individually addressable RGBs. And then if you set it to like change colors, it does so with this like harsh transition. It's not like this breathing effect where it like fades into the next color. It's like bam, 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 bam. And it's not necessarily the kind of RGB that I would want on a card. I would actually rather they had left it off altogether. They're going for a very solid black and silver aesthetic here. RGB really doesn't need to complicate that. I would have preferred if they just completely removed it, because it's not good enough RGB to justify it even being there. And then let's talk about the name of their software. Thundermaster. Palette, come on, please. Like, I love your graphics card. Thundermaster? It's 2019. Come up with something that's a bit more chic, something a bit more bah! Like that's when I think somebody says Thundermaster, it feels like a punch to the face.
It feels to me like 90s buzzwords.
It's a 90s buzzword marketing brand for the graphics card. So now that we have the aesthetics out of the way, honestly, I really like it overall. Like the black and silver aesthetic goes well with pretty much any build, but it's not gaudy, it's not audacious. It's just a big boy. It's just a thick boy right here who loves to take long walks on the beach and show you his mother's earring collection. I don't know what that was, but it was worth it. So here on startup, what you'll see as I turn off the system and then turn it back on is the RGB do what I said, where it's just a very harsh transition from one color to the next. It's not something that's very elegant. So we should have red, blue, green, yellow, green? What? That was a weird color transition. So now that we have it in the system, let's go ahead and talk about just how freaking mighty this graphics card is. So with it having that triple slot design, without a custom fan curve, with nothing else going on, in a South African summer where it gets to be 35 in this office, that card did not hit above 60 degrees Celsius. It's phenomenal. I was blown away by just how cool this freaking thing ran. It was between 59 and 60 degrees the entire time, which you would think, okay, great temperatures, but the way NVIDIA's GPU boost technology works, those fantastic temperatures mean better clocks on the graphics card. This thing right out of the box was at 1950 megahertz. No tweaking, no adjustment, 60 degrees C, you can barely hear it. Obviously, this comes as a direct result of that thick heatsink that it has on it, and those two fans that are on it help to keep it really cool. The noise is hardly audible, even having the test bench right here. I could barely hear the card when it was actually ramping up and running. So let's go ahead and talk about the benchmarks that we got at 1950 megahertz. So this is all gonna be done at 1440p high settings. So this is going to be, this is the perfect 1440p card. The RTX 2070, similar to a GTX 1080, did really freaking well. 74 FPS in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, 102 in Far Cry New Dawn, 90 in Ghost Recon Wildlands, 123 in Strange Brigade, 100 FPS in Hitman 2, 72 in Final Fantasy 15, 89 in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, 80 in Middle-earth Shadow of War. Metro Exodus got 61 FPS. That is the hardest game to run on the freaking planet, and it got 60 FPS over on 1440p. Witcher 3, we got 97, Resident Evil 2, 104, Devil May Cry 5, I've been loving that game, 163 FPS. Battlefield 5 with ray tracing on at 1440p high, 49 FPS. You might want to add DLSS into that. With ray tracing off, we got 93 FPS. Time Spy score of graphics was 9,500, and then the 3D Mark Port Royale score was 5,000. So those are some solid numbers, but we gotta overclock this freaking thing. So once we did our magic, once we did our custom fan curve and we added the highest power limit we could get with the highest temp limit, we were finally able to settle on an overclock of 2040 megahertz, which is only 90 megahertz above stock. But if you don't like overclocking, this card is freaking perfect for you. It did an amazing job of both staying cool and running as fast as it could possibly go. Only an additional 90 megahertz on this graphics card. It helps a little bit, but it's not something that you necessarily need to do, which I'll talk about after getting into the benchmarks. And then for the memory, we're able to add another 1.6 gigahertz, so we got it up to 15.6 gigabits per second on the memory stuff. So that really good performance. But if we take a look at the games that we tested versus the stock settings, we see that we only got a 5% increase. So if you're looking to do some really good overclocking, it's gonna be dependent on the Silicon Lottery, whether or not this Superjet Stream 2070 is gonna give you anything that you actually want to use. If you wanna get, 200 megahertz out of your card, better off probably getting a Founders Edition, because then it'll make you feel like you're overclocking more, even though you're only still getting to 2 gigahertz. Anyways, I digress. But as far as coolness, temperature. I'm talking about temperature here.
Hot as in temperature.
As far as the temperature, as far as the stock performance, this thing was phenomenal. Whisper quiet, cooled by some of the most massive heat sinks that I've ever seen. Obviously, besides that new EVGA 1660 Ti that's super thick when it doesn't need to be. Why you do that, EVGA? Anyways, the Superjet Stream from Palette is fantastic. I can easily recommend this. Right now in South Africa, it's going for around 9,200 Rand, which compared to the competition, it's really only another Palette card that I would say you could maybe get, which is the dual Palette one. And that's just because you're gonna be saving 1,000 Rand. And 1,000 Rand to get a slightly cooler, slightly faster stock graphics card could be worth it for you, but that's a personal decision that you're gonna make. Obviously, if you're in South Africa looking to pick up a 2070, Wootware has the cheapest ones. Palette is fantastic. When you compare it to anything else, you're spending thousands of Rand extra for just basically looks at that point. Superjet Stream, easy to recommend. I don't believe that Palette sells to customers in the United States right now. Hopefully they'll change that in the future, but they have been developing their gaming lineup over the past several years, and I'm actually really impressed with how far they've come. They have made some slight regressions in terms of aesthetics that I would wish that they would change, but hopefully they go forward with a bit more understanding of how they can appeal to their gaming customers, especially with things like their Gaming Pro lineup, like the gold tan vibe and the red, like those are hideous cards. Palette, you really shouldn't make cards like that. Nobody wants that in 2019, not a single person, unless they're going for super themed builds, but in that case, they should just be painting their GPU. I mean, I don't know. no, that's me. Anyways, I know that palette does sell in Europe in some places, so if you guys are at all thinking about picking up the Super Jetstream, I can't comment about the prices in other regions. Here in South Africa, easy recommend, easy buy. Wootware, big thanks to them for sending this over to us. If you guys are in South Africa, go to Wootware to pick up any of your graphics card need, 2070 or otherwise, CPUs, GPUs. I mean, this entire system right here is a Wootware exclusive. Literally everything I bought from Wootware in here. So, besides that, let me tell you about today's video sponsor. Don't forget to check out the GGWP desk. You could have this glorious illumination with everything. It's illuminated back here, but the entire way. It has perspex. So it comes through all around on the side, through the front, and through the other side with the lighting at the back. It's an ingenious design. I love it so much. Check out the GGWP desk at the link in the video description. Now hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Get subscribed if you want to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see your smiling faces again in the next video. Love you too.